letting this thing kind of roll in live. The devs have finally posted. We have the video itself. It is up, but for some reason I am unable at the moment to see my chat from the YouTube dashboard. So I'm going to see if I can get to it real quick, as well as fire up the stream over on X. Welcome in, everybody. I will probably also jump into the Discord server here in a minute, but just letting you know that this is just hot off the presses. This is just now happening. And so if you're watching this live, and it looks like I'm able to actually see chat if I go to my own stream. So YouTube is doing what it is. Welcome in, everybody. Let's not waste any time. I know for me, I'm very interested in seeing what the devs are going to share with this community Q&A. The TLDR is, I think that they're making a lot of smart moves with console, but I think they completely abandoned the PC player base. And I say abandoned, not in the sense of it's an actual abandonment. That's how it feels. Like, it feels like we didn't get talked to at all this weekend. And we were told for months that we were going to be talked to. There is content worth waiting for. These things are happening. And so that's what we're going to explore in today's stream. Now, it looks like their Q&A is roughly 11 minutes. So it should hopefully be, I think, hopefully a fun-filled and enjoyable watch. Something that really kind of speaks to the frustration of the current players. Because essentially what happens from now till October? What else is there going to be? Are we going to see an increase in content that has been, introduced, or is it going to be the same what we've kind of seen already? Just, it feels like we have not gotten enough content that has truly kept not just keeping players engaged, because that's one piece of the puzzle. You do want to build it in so that people can take breaks, but beyond that, that aspect right here is you hope that they can actually start to truly deliver. Because I think New World is a special game. I've been a adamant defender of the game and what it does and its challenges that it has. To kind of summarize that, for those of you who are interested, it's not a game that has any nostalgia baked into it. When you look at every major MMO out there right now, a lot of them have that factor. So in the tough times, you actually can have nostalgia carry you through those times. New World doesn't have that opportunity, so they have to actually deliver, almost in a way tenfold what somebody else like Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft could do. But we're also seeing them deliver content. Well, maybe not in Endwalker, but throughout their life and with the upcoming Dawn Trail. So it's ultimately something that is for sure a challenge of the team, and that's the hopes that I have before I go and watch this video. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I'm very nervous. I really hope they don't pull an AGS and F this one up. So we'll see. If you guys enjoy the content that I make here at the channel, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you guys don't mind. Other than that, let's dive in.
Hey everybody, welcome to the June Q&A of Forge in Eternum. I'm Scott, I'm here with Katie and Dave, and we want to answer your questions.
Let's go.
Before we start though, I wanted to make a few acknowledgements. So we've just had our exciting announcement of New World Eternum, and we've seen a lot of questions from you.
Yeah.
So this is really addressed to answer you, the PC players' questions. Rather than us pull each question out like we normally do, there were so many, we just thought we'd aggregate them down to a smaller subset so we could answer as many as possible and make sure we get you as much information as we can.
Get the
Some
popcorn,
good news,
boys.
Chuck's filling in for Lovin today, so you won't be hearing us yell at him, we'll be yelling at Chuck just instead.
All right, Chuck.
Bring him
let's
on,
go.
Chuck.
All right. Why aren't communications more PC focused, given it's the PC audience who has been told to wait for June?
Our first announcement on June 7th was really important that we had a very clear announcement for all of the new players who, you have to remember, a lot of people never heard of New World.
He's 100% right that the 7th announcement is that from the stage. Why then the dev update was an echo. It wasn't even something that I feel like that market is interested in. Now, I'm sure there are exceptions to that, and maybe I'm completely wrong in left field, but yeah, like, let's freaking go. Like, if they had that announcement, New World Eternum, console, yada, 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 dev update. Hey guys, Thank you guys so much for the support. Here's what's happening in June. Here's what's happening in July. Here's what's happening in August. Here's this roadmap. I think overall, there would be a lot to be excited about. You'd still have the frustration from the actual players who, when the game was announced, it sounded like they were announcing a brand new standalone RPG. And that's not what they did, but that was just obviously some mismanagement, some poor handling of all of that. But I'll let Scott continue, and here we go.
They didn't know what it is, so for us to get it out there, we wanted a nice, clean message to them.
As an existing New World player, what is my experience on October 15th?
Yeah, so if you're a current player, when this hits, you'll get all the new content. If you have the Rise of the Angry Earth DLC, if you have the base game, you will get some of what we've done because there are quite a few quality of life improvements that we've included. So your experience will be uninterrupted, your progression continues, and you continue your time in Eternum from New World.
Good.
Hopefully you'll have a lot more players to play with in the world as well.
That's the goal.
So why console?
We should definitely have a massive amount of more players. Now, I do think that the smartest thing to do with this, if they're truly ready for the rush and the servers infrastructure, is to offer this game as a part of Game Pass and Prime and PlayStation Plus. Like, if they really want to make like people go, hey, what's going on with New World again? You just open it up. You remove that barrier for entry to millions of players and say, hey, if you got Game Pass, you got New World Eternum, jump in and play. And obviously that would be for the Xbox console. That wouldn't impact the Steam version. And then same thing goes for PlayStation Plus, because then all of a sudden you have those players. However, what I would say in that regards, until we have any faith that the system isn't going to crash out and burn and have endless login queues, perhaps you hold that feature, that flag onto later. The downside about holding on to it is that if and when that does happen, then a narrative is going to form that the game's struggling, and that's why they added it into Game Pass, when the reality could just be more simply network based. And also, guys, I am seeing your comments, so just feel free to tag Ginger Prime Loves MMOs if we want to jump into a specific subject with you guys here. So anyway, I'm going to let them continue because I think this next one's pretty important.
Well, we've wanted to bring New World to console for a long time. I mean, if you've ever played it on a controller or on your couch, it just feels great. So I think it's something we've wanted to do for a long time, and I think we feel ready now. And I think, it's, like you said, it's going to bring a lot of new players to the game, which will be exciting.
Yeah.
What is being added for existing PC players come October 15th?
A lot. So I'm going to start with the PC players who own Rise of the Angry Earth.
Great.
Cutlass Keys has been up-leveled, and part of that up-leveling is a new free-for-all zone and a new 10-person raid that's a real raid, 3 bosses, the true progression, and it's really, really hard.
Great.
They're going to get a whole new entry-level experience. Actually, everyone's going to get this.
Everybody
a new
gets entry.
Fatui. The story has been modified. We've added some new characters to the beach. But how we tell the story is going to be vastly improved. We've had an enhanced dialogue system, which is basically cinematic cameras that zoom way in. You'll actually see yourself in the conversation with the NPCs. What else have we added, Katie? There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so we've made Arenas Crossworld.
Yeah.
We've also added matchmaking, which is super cool. And we've done optimizations across the game that PC players are going to get to benefit from, which I think is great. Dave, is there?
Gear score increase, I don't think we mentioned. Did you mention solo trials?
It's going to 725.
So we have these amazing soul trials that you get throughout the MSQ experience, but like you experience them once and then you're like, man, I wish I could do that over. Well, we've got it. Now we've made it an end game experience for solo players.
Oh, good.
You can do 3 a day. You get cool rewards. You get to see these cool fights.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, they're up-leveled so that they are true end game.
And up-leveled.
I think it's going to be super exciting.
And Katie mentioned performance improvements. I want to make sure we're really clear. There's going to be a lot of performance improvements for the PC players, a lot. And a lot of quality of life improvements, especially for the PC players who are using a gamepad now. But across the board, you'll see them. And there's been so many changes. I'm sure we're forgetting some, but we're going to have a graphic that shows you all of those here playing in a minute.
Why is New World Eternum called an ARPG and not an MMORPG?
Well, you can still play Eternum the way you've always played it, but because of all of the changes we've done to the storytelling, the way we tell the story, because of the way our camera and combat and navigation work through the world, we feel like, we're across so many genres, but this pushes us solidly into the ARPG, which is a little more well-known on console.
Is New World Eternum
Marketing
a separate
is
game?
The answer there.
No. It is the continuation of New World. It is an update to it that brings a ton new.
Is New World closing down and launching as single player?
No, New World is not closing down. Your experience will continue after this update. There is definitely a lot of opportunity for a solo experience that's coming with this. We have the updated main story quest line that you've all seen, where you can now go through it without being required to do group content. And now we have the up-leveled solo trials. So that's something that now, like from beginning to end, if you choose to, you can do it solo. We still have a ton of group content. It's still a big open world with a lot of people in it. So it's not pivoting. It's just an addition to.
Will we lose our characters in progress?
No, again. No, I think, if you have a character, you can continue to play it. If it's endgame, you can jump right into that endgame. If you do want to start a new character, you can and join the Fresh Start Worlds, but your old character will be there. You can jump right into the experience of endgame with it.
What will current players get between now and October?
Right now, our focus is on an awesome, clean release on October 15th. Now, in the interim, we are still going to have a summer medley fair, but beyond that, there's not really going to be anything. Our focus, on top of all the features we talked about, we're trying to fix as many bugs as we can, and we want this to be just a super polished experience.
All right, so that in and of itself is by far the biggest oof moment from this stream, namely because we're getting Summer Medley Fair and pretty much nothing else. Now, I respect his honesty. He could be like, well, guys, there's lots, no. They are 100% focusing it on October. So this is an excellent time for all of us to take a break, or, anybody who is just wanting to play something else. Guess what? I've got really great game recommendations for you. So there's going to be lots to talk about there in that respect. Next week, PAX Day. If you guys like PAX Day or are interested in it and would like to see my coverage of it, that subscribe button will make sure that continues going forward. That is what I was worried about, because what that means is we're going to see them most likely open up the PTRs for New World Eternum, and we're going to optionally opt into beta testing that game. Now, I do think that they're going to roll out content. I'm wondering if we're going to get a new season or if they're just extending the existing season. I'll let Scott kind of finish that off as well, but I see Yamron saying big oof in chat, so thank you, sir, for that, because I agree with it. Jordy says, I've already been on a 2-year break, 1,500 hours year one. Well, that's actually like you can do one of two things, Jordy. If you've been on this 2-year break, you could pick up the expansion, you can get all caught up, and then you can take another break, and then you can go play into Eternum in October, or you can just continue that waiting period to wait and see if that is something that you want to see. But let's continue on.
We're very, very excited for that launch date, and we want to do it right at high quality.
Yeah, and we also, it's worth mentioning that we're going to have a couple testing opportunities coming up. One is going to be specific for consoles, because that's a technical test. And then the other one is going to be across all platforms, so PC players can participate in that. And in addition, one thing that I know is just like a separate call out, and maybe not a lot of people have been asking about this, but I think it's super cool that we have a pre-order bonus for a console, that if you're on PC and you log into your character between June 7th, which was our announced date, and October 14th, you get access to that, which is the Azos Stalker Dire Wolf mount.
Okay. Are seasons going away?
That's an interesting kind of marketing mechanic, which at least it means that it has somebody update and touch the game if they've already uninstalled the game. So be sure to pay attention to that if you already have the expansion and you're going to be playing that, to log in, and that way you're a part of that queue. Now, I see Jordan says New World doesn't seem like it can develop or keep up with other MMOs. I think that's an interesting kind of discussion point, Jordan, namely because I would have to follow up. What do you mean by keep up with other MMOs? If you go into any other MMO community, what you generally hear, and there probably are maybe some exceptions, but what I generally hear is that there isn't enough content. What we don't have in New World that we have, let's say, in Final Fantasy XIV, is that they are so consistent with their updates, you can literally schedule everything about it. And the complaint about that, the downside to that approach, is people are bored. They get bored of that. Like, oh, I know, I get another dungeon and I get this. And when the reality is like, dude, you get like, if you just pivot, if you go with an optimistic view, you get that additional meat, to it. You get that hope and that going forward. 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. Getting a coffee. My wife was like, "You want a coffee?" I was like, "Yes, I do want a coffee," but I'll have that here after we kind of finish this video. Let's go for it. Anyway, but yeah, if it's consistent updates, that actually helps, but it isn't going to be ultimately perfect. Jordan says, I think you already touched on it with the nostalgic feel for an MMO. Yeah, New World doesn't have that. That's where the Lord of the Rings MMO will have that in spades. Because you'll end up finding that it's like, even in the droughts and even in the downtime, you still have so much that you can just kind of lean back into and settle into. That's the appeal for Final Fantasy XIV and me, is that there is so much Final Fantasy nostalgia that even though, like, maybe I don't like a specific update, or in the case with Endwalker, after the story was finished, I found everything that they were doing to be utterly disappointing. And so I decided to step away and focus in on my health, which, for those of you who are keeping score at home, I haven't officially weighed in yet, but 70 pounds plus down. Looking forward to my next weigh in. I've been kind of on this plateau, it feels like, but I'm hitting it hard at the gym, and still avoiding sugar with every fiber of my being. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. Welcome in also for those of you who are following over on Twitch. If you guys are interested in checking out the content here, if this is the first time you're seeing my content, my name is Brian. This is Ginger Prime Loves MMOs, the MMO focused channel, formerly New World Central, but it just seemed to be kind of a natural fit to kind of bring more of my MMO coverage, like Throne and Liberty over here. I still am running Blue Protocol Central, by the way, and that channel is doing really well, so I appreciate that. But also, if you guys check out the top link, you can get involved in the Discord, you can get connected with the community. You can also see all the different content I make, like podcast and more. And just as a reminder, I will be jumping into the Discord server and letting you guys kind of share your thoughts when that happens. It looks like Rhino is already there. Let me go ahead and just mute myself so that way I can jump into the New World voice chat room and bring in everybody who wants to kind of talk about this. Again, top link in the description. Also, I think there's drops or something going on, but if there's ever drops, Ginger Prime TV over on Twitch is what you want, and that link in the top link should get you over there. Anyway, sorry for that mid video rant. There we go.
When is the next season coming?
No, seasons are not going away. We're committed to the seasonal model and bringing players regular cadence of content.
Okay.
The next season is with the New World Eternum launch in October 15th.
Oh, shit!
How does crossplay work?
If you're on PC, it couldn't be easier. You just play the game. And in the world, you'll be joined with new friends from PS5 and Xbox. That happens in the open world. Another important thing to mention is all this cross-world and matchmaking will now be joined with a larger play pool. So they get to not only be in the open world with you, but will join all the queues and matchmaking.
Will console players join the existing PC servers?
Yeah, so console players will have the ability to join the existing worlds that we see on PC
That's good.
today.
That's a good update.
The only things that are going to happen, and some folks should be used to this because it's the way that we did the Fresh Start Worlds for Brimstone Sands, is that if you have a legacy character, it cannot move to the new worlds that we're creating at launch. So that's something where if your console friends want to play with you on your current server, they're able to do that. But if you want to play with them on the Fresh Start Worlds, you do have to create a new character, which...
This is the best news if you have a backlog, and I guarantee you have a backlog. I'm playing Elden Ring. I'm loving it. I'm not playing Elden Ring today because we're doing this together. So I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Also, thanks so much for the 56 likes. Oh my gosh, you guys are so generous. All right. Anyway, woo, baby, that's just such bad news. But I'm not really too worried because I do think with the hype and marketing and with console, and if they do go with the Game Pass, kind of, model for just opening up the game to so many more people, I think people are going to generally be curious, especially for those of you who are like, I really want an action MMORPG. What really is out there? And Yerman, I'm sure you're going to say that one game that I can't, Black Desert. There it is, that I haven't played yet. So we'll see there. There we go.
I think is a lot of fun because we revamped and changed a lot in the new starting experience. So I think it's worth it to log in with a new character that day.
Will PC players who only have the base game and not Rise of the Angry Earth expansion still be able to play after October?
Absolutely. And the experience is going to get a lot better.
Yeah,
They won't be able to access all of the content, the stuff that's gated behind level, or some of the things that were part of Rise of the Angry Earth, like the flail and mounts. But they will get to see the new storytelling, the way we tell it. They're going to get the new Fatui. They're going to get all of the performance improvements, all the bug fixes, and even some of the solo trials that are in 1 through 60.
Will the release of New World Eternum change the minimum and recommended specs of the game?
While we wait for that question, I do see Leon over on the Twitch chat says, I do have a question. Is New World worth playing? I'm on a PS5. I would say yes. Like, if we give them some grace to say they could have handled this better, once that kind of reaction to the news is kind of processed, once it's like, well, for me as somebody who's high leveled and and overall geared out and haven't, like, I every time I step into the game I have a blast. I think there's a lot that this game does that I wish other MMOs did. There's things that I still wish that this MMO would do. I hope that for some reason they ask about companies, right? Like the company system within the game needs to really be revisited and and expanded on. But when if you're on a PS5, Leon, I think you're really going to have a good time come October when you step into this game. I'm barring any kind of server and system issues in and of itself, but we'll see. Kendrick says Ginger Prime loves MMOs. I feel like people aren't talking enough about the fact that the game is going to be more lively than ever in October. We're still back to fresh MMO days, and that's exciting. And that you feel you're 100% right, Kendrick. That will happen. That's one of the things. They're going to spend lots of money on marketing. You're going to see the big content creators covering it. If for some reason you're a fan of me, you'll see me talking about it because I'm going to be there for sure. I'll probably be there leading up to it. I actually been on this break because of No Rest for the Wicked and playing Elden Ring. Like, I actively find myself going like, yeah, I'm looking forward to when I can log in and play some New World, and hopefully we'll get to do some of that together. But if you're looking for a reason to play, for veterans, that isn't going to be there. For new players, there's nothing, like if you want to go and level and play and the content's going to be there, but you're going to see obviously a diminished population. But in October, the excitement will be there. The fresh start servers will be there. The marketing will be there. And all of that excitement alone will then have the casual and even the angry, gamer right now, at least consider stepping back in. And here's the best part. If you already especially are one of these PC players like myself who have Rise, and all this excitement's going on, there is no cost to you to step in and start playing. So that's another barrier that is being removed. They're not going to charge you for that. And then that makes sense to why we're not getting a paid expansion this year. This goes back to what they've been talking about this whole year. I think they are going to try to have the yearly expansion model, and that's when the major content is going to drop. And the seasonal model is going to be kind of that little bit of lighter touch of content throughout the year. And that in and of itself, those things paired, is how even with New World Eternum, I would expect that next October, there's going to be an expansion to New World Eternum, and that's when we're going to see the bigger content pieces. They do need to figure out and at least make some of the updates that happen throughout the year a little bit more meaty, because the raid I think is going to be interesting. And if it's difficult and people find it challenging and it's fun to watch and stream, then people are going to watch and stream it. But the free for all zone is going to be interesting to see how that's received. I honestly am very curious about that. But again, we have to wait. And what we'll end up doing here in terms of content is when the PTR opens up and we can start testing out all these things, then that will be a really good thing overall for a content cycle and for discussion purposes as well. Do you anticipate that they're going to increase the attention and microtransactions from the addition of the console players? I think they're going to get additional revenue from obviously the console players. That's why I think marrying this as a buy-to-play MMO is the perfect business model. That's why I don't believe any, like when we were seeing the free-to-play rumors, it's like, no. Keep it buy-to-play. But if they went and teamed up with things like, Game Pass, that would be something that would kind of satisfy both, because it's not in the box price. The box price, I paid like what, $40 or $60, like whatever version I got. And I've played over like just under 900 hours on live, and over 100, or like, it's roughly that I'm at 1,000 hours between live and the PTR. And that's not, an insane amount of hours compared to some of the people who are like, I'm at 5,000, I'm at 6,000. That's the cost of having 6 kids, man. Like you don't always get those opportunities to play as much as you like, but I do enjoy the game, and so hopefully that helps. Krevin says, hey, what's up, dude? Says, hey, Ginger, I just arrived. The game is still fun. I'm still exciting. The things that they're doing are cool, but this is a major hardcore red flag to me, and the way they communicated this just killed trust, and that's the biggest thing that they've done to themselves. New World devs constantly shoot themselves in their own feet. This was definitely a blow to trust. And then I think it's also interesting that with all of this, it's really weird that we haven't seen Amazon say, and by the way, Throne of Liberty's out. While you're taking a break from New World, you go play some Throne of Liberty? But we don't have a Throne of Liberty thing. It just seems like everything's positive and ready to freaking go, but there's some hesitation there. So anyway, if you guys like Throne of Liberty, we'll be covering it here as well.
No, between now and the launch of New World Eternum, and after that, we have no plans to adjust those min and rec specs.
And it might even play better on the minimum specs now with all the optimizations,
absolutely
right?
It will.
More than might, yeah. It will.
Will New World Eternum bring DirectX 12 to the game?
Yes, we're very excited to bring DirectX 12 with all the work we've been doing on console. It now can come to PC and bring enhanced rendering for everyone.
Will the non-Eternum version of the game continue to receive new content?
Yeah, so, I mean, first off, there is going to be no non-Eternum version of the game. On October 15th, we're all playing Eternum. I think what we're talking about is the base game. And so for the base game, you'll continue receiving updates. You'll get access to our quality of life improvements, seasonal events, things like that. I will say that in order to really experience the best version of this game, like the ultimate version of this game, that's what you get with the Rise of the Angry Earth DLC as part of Eternum.
If I don't have the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion, will I still get the pre-order bonus?
So this is a pretty interesting one because when you log in, you get an entitlement to that pre-order bonus, to the Azos Stalker. But if you don't have Rise of the Angry Earth, you can't access mounts, which is what that goes through. So if you do purchase the Rise of the Angry Earth DLC after you've logged in after a while, you will get that pre-order bonus because it's attached to your account.
Okay. Will New World Eternum continue to receive regular updates after its release on October 15th?
It sure will.
What do you mean by that?
We're going to get back onto our regular seasonal cadence. And, we're always working toward our next piece of large content. So it's all in the works.
Give us a freaking roadmap that communicates that, because back to the trust, the how trust was killed or hurt through this handling of this communication, like the roadmap in and of itself would, I think, go over so well, because why believe them that they're going to get back on, some other thing where like, I know I'm going to see this comment on a video if I haven't already had the comment made, but it's going to be like, but they said that with Rise of the Angry Earth. Why isn't then the next October, guys, we're coming to mobile? I don't think they're coming to mobile, but why that's the mindset. Like, why are they just going to keep chasing platforms to bring this game to? And that's what we get with just a drip fed, bit of, content with no subscription fee. I get it, but the seasonal model, I think, should be enough to sustain that. And also with how they do have a cash shop itself. So, whoo, baby. That it's going to be a put up or shut up moment. They need to communicate a roadmap to the players, and it would be really well appreciated if it wasn't just a 6-month roadmap, but they at least went a year. I personally would like to see them talk about year 2 and year 3 from Eternum, even if it's just here's our vague idea. Expansion, next October. Expansion next October. Okay, cool. Yearly expansions, guys. We know that is happening, and they have some vision for the direction they want to go to. Anyway, again, without nostalgia to really tide you over, you end up having to, I think, really try and deliver in this case.
Will New World Eternum support cross progression between PC and consoles?
No, we don't support cross progression between the consoles and PC. We only support crossplay.
Where's the roadmap?
I know this is the most asked question, and we are really happy we're here to answer it. So between now and October 15th, we're going to release the Summer Medley Fair, and there might be a couple minor patches coming out around problems. Beyond that, hopefully you can see the graphic. Things I'm most excited about.
Hold on, guys. Let me move my camera out of the way. Give me 1 second so we can take a look at here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, and let me move chat. Can I just turn chat off for just a second on screen? Where are you? Is that under the cams section? Event bar, Prism chat. There we go. Blam. All right, cool. Hopefully we can all see that good and well. 10-player raid. So this is coming October 5th. New PvP zone. Repeatable endgame soul trials. Gear score increased to 725. Matchmaking cross world arenas. Unleveled cutscene quest zones. And more performance, quality of life, combat, swimming, rendering, enhanced controller support, new starting experience, player blah blah blah. So that's basically everything they've announced.
The 10-player raid, the new PvP zone, which is going to be awesome. Matchmaking, we're up-leveling Cutlass Keys with new quests and enemies. I know you've all asked for swimming, so we have swimming, and there's a bunch of other things that you can see here.
Yeah, and then...
Okay, so what that isn't the roadmap that and I don't think anybody wanted, but it is a good visual graphic to say what is all coming. And so what they need to do still, though, is like what happens November and December, right? Like it is an MMO isn't about just selling the game as it exists. That's what single player games do. An MMO is about selling something that you invest in like a ridiculous amount of time into, if we're just being honest. Anyway, let me just move this back here. Boo, 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 boo. And we'll turn back on chat. Oh, there we go. And there we go. Cool. Press the wrong button. All right, let's continue on.
And after Eternum launches, we will be able to put out the 2025 roadmap. So super excited for that.
Hey, thank you very much for the questions. We appreciate the passion. Dave and Katie, thank you so much for answering them with me. To all the players, we will see you in Eternum.
Oh, no, next week on Fortune Eternum. All right, guys. I think essentially what we're going to see from the team outside of like a handful of updates, I think they're heads down. This is crunch time for the team. And just like how we don't see what's next on Fortune Eternum, this I think was decent. And it tells me that it is the perfect opportunity to encourage people to take a break and play other games. Because there isn't anything if you are a high-level player. And honestly, it does suck. However, in the grand scheme of things, what we will have to wait, watch, and see is, does console and the added players truly then get the game to the state that it needs to be to thrive, to keep people engaged? Time will tell. But yes, I see chat sorry if I'm butchering your name, saying 2025 roadmap after release. That's absolutely what they need. And bring it on. October is here, all the excitement, and then they need to be firing on all cylinders, which is actually kind of a big part of them focusing in now. I think sets them up for better success later, assuming that they can get all of their ducks in a row. And we haven't necessarily seen that from this team. I still very much enjoy this game. I very much love what New World brings to the table. And it's still a bummer that we don't have all that more. But let me bring in our illustrious voice chat. What's up, gentlemen? How are y'all doing?
Good, and you?
Well, I mean, today could have gone better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at least they're being honest, right?
Right.
But like you said, like your reaction to them saying that there's no new content, that the next season is in October, that was
October, yeah.
clip it. And
I hope somebody
put up on
clipped it.
Twitter. And the only thing I've seen that's more genuine, not or just as genuine, was when you like flipped out over Phil Spencer at the Final Fantasy Fan Fest.
We do have some good reactions from time to time. It's so funny.
Those two moments are pretty legit.
Clip it, share it out, guys. Meme the hell out of it. Turn it into a GIF. That is one amazing way that if you like for free, if you have those kind of talents, that's one free way that you can help the content that I work on and making. And Shiva's right. PAX Day, October 18th, guys. That's next week. I'm not taking off the 18th from work because I am behind. Like I got so many things that I'm moving on and working on. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
PAX Day, Elden Ring.
I'm still playing through the.
They're going out during the summer as well.
I'm still a lot of games this summer, a lot of games in the fall. Like I saw chat bring up, and I do apologize. I don't have the name of who brought this up, but also New World Tournament is going to be competing against the Diablo 4 expansion. And I think that's going to take some people. I actually was thinking about streaming some Diablo 4 here. I haven't finished the game. And I've been having I've been having messages saying like, "Hey, season 4 is really good. Let's play." And I'm like, that sounds great. Sounds fun. Yeah. So maybe we'll do some Diablo 4 streams here as well. So if you guys want to hang out for that, jump into the Discord if you want to be a part of it. That's the easiest way to sync up and play.
PAX Day is much better than New World.
I love PAX Day. Like I'm a sandbox MMORPG guy. That's what I would cut my teeth into.
And so it's not my PAX Day is not my speed.
Well, it's not going to be a speed for a lot of people, and so and that's fine. I think
PAX Day is a niche is a niche within a niche.
I think sandbox is because the people who've come from theme park will struggle, but they could.
Right? Yeah. It's not even the fact that it's sandbox, right? Because like there are games that are sandbox. Not Elder Scrolls. Well, Elder Scrolls to an extent.
Yeah.
But like BDO and RuneScape are sandbox. RuneScape especially is like the OG sandbox game.
Yeah.
Right.
I never played RuneScape.
It's the fact that PAX Day is for lack of a better term, a survival-esque.
Yeah.
A survival styled MMO. Like that's one of the reasons I'm not checking it out.
How does PAX Day stack up against Once Human?
I haven't played Once Human yet.
MMO.
I have downloaded. I have downloaded Once Human though, so it is downloaded to my computer. Maybe I sit down and play that as well because, we got PAX Day next week. Officially new Once Human launches in July. So
yeah,
the guys, I do need to run. It is time for me to get back to work. I was just waiting for this kind of information to drop. I appreciate y'all all being here, and if you hung out for the entirety of the show, you're the best, and if you didn't, you're still the best. And I appreciate you being here. Hopefully, we'll be having more conversations like this, and I can continue to invite you over into the Discord for that. But I'm going to head end stream, guys. I got to get back to it, and I will see you next time.